Right, this is video picking up straight after the last one on the updates of the arid bed and moving the agave. So you haven't watched that, go back and watch it please. You might find it interesting. Or maybe not. Anyway, so we're looking at the centre bed. So literally just today we've removed all the covers off this. The grass around the edges was absolutely insane. That was literally 1.5 to 2 foot, so cut that back, left it in situ for now, just due to the fact that the green bin is overflowing. So centre bed uncovered, hopefully the last frost, but anything in here will take a light frost. It's just, you know, the prolonged winter freezes we don't want to expose them to. So let's have a look. At the front here we've got Sago Palm, looking like it's ready to put out a new flush as soon as that warms up a little bit more. I'm guessing that will. So these leaves, it didn't flush out last year due to the cool summer we had. So these leaves are over 2 years old. They've been dried out by the sun a bit and died a bit around the edges, but not too fussed about that. When that flush out, that'll look good again. Right, we've got some pink chinas here. I know everyone go mad for pink china at the moment. Quite shallow. In fact, this one's pushed its way right out. They started growing, so the slugs, they've started to attack them already. So that is how far the pink china has come. So we're looking, what, an inch of growth on that. So let's compare that to the Colocasia Escalante, which we've left in ground. Exactly the same situation. And look at that. Much further ahead, already pushing out a big leaf, that one at the back. Stalks, I'd say the stalks, you know, the old leaf base never really died back. A little bit of gooey on the outside, so I just peeled them back and that's what we got. So in my opinion, perfectly good to overwinter as long as you can keep them on the dry side and keep the frost off them. So whether you do what I done and build something around it, or I'd imagine even a cloche like this would do the job. So I've left this on here just to give it extra heat to get them going. So that's my opinion on that. This is standard green Colocasia Escalante. These have been in the ground 3 winters now, and they always grow huge because there's no root disturbance. That you might obviously have some roots rot off a bit over winter, maybe, I don't know, or maybe not, but it does seem that without the disturbance and pulling about, they'll die back naturally and they'll kick in, and they just grow much better than starting them off scratch every year. I have got some little clump this side as well. Again, unfortunately I snapped the end off this one as I peeled some of the old gunk off, but again that's been in the ground 3 winters, no problem. Comes back, gets nice big leaves every year. Right, that's enough on the colocasias. Right, let's go back to the palms. This was the idea. This was a centre palm bed with, I wouldn't say unusual palms, but some of the, you know, pushing my luck maybe on some, but let's have a look. So we've got Princeps. Obviously these are totally hardy, totally white back on them. That's been in the ground. I put that in last summer, and that's been slowly pushing all winter. We've got some lilies again coming out. These are the tree lilies, they get huge. So probably the worst looking palm would be this, which it always is, the Livingstone chinensis. they're hardy, but they take damage. And even though this was covered, we've got some brown tip and a bit of spotting on the top. That further down, absolutely fine. I've cut this leaf off because they're totally browned. Got a new spear coming. And the problem is we don't get hot summers here, so they're quite slow growing. That has been in the ground 4 or 5 years, and it seems to knock out about 2 leaves a year, and then it gets knocked back in the winter again. So maybe not the best to have in ground. Probably better pot plant. I've got one in a pot and that is flawless. Makes a perfect indoor plant, you know, house plant, or overwintered in a mildly heated greenhouse, or in my situation, the summer house. Cameropsorifera again, no problem with this. Really been pushing out a couple of new leaves, nice and blue, looking good. It's even, in fact, got 1, 2, 3, 4 suckers I can see coming off that. So a bit slower grown than the standard Camerops, but well worth it. Obviously we've got the Canary date palm in the middle. I am going to have to dig that out. Whether I do that this year or next year, I'm not sure, because that's going to start taking off soon. That's already going to start shading out some other palms. Brahea edulis. So this is the standard green Brahea, and looking good. Again, all these palms, other than the Princeps, I planted at the same time 4-5 years ago. I'm not sure. All little strap leaf seedlings. So that is what to expect in around 4 years. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. That's starting to get a little chunk on it. That's fine. This cord line, a little bit of damage probably where the cover on this had a bit of a slant on it, but not a huge slant, so I did notice there were some drips. So that's obviously had a few drips on it and damaged a couple of lower leaves, but in general that's looking good. But again, when I move this Canary Ensis, I'll attempt to move that. I don't know if that will move well. I don't know how deep the roots are. Hopefully it's small enough to move. I know when the cord lines, when they get a certain size, you know, you're pretty much guaranteed to kill them if you move them, because the tap root gets too big. Anyway, what we got, this is your standard Bootia, or Bootia, lazy talk, Bootia odorata. So again, strap leaf 4 years ago. It's been going pinnate, but we've still got, you know, some of the new leaves which aren't quite opened up. But yeah, it's been a bit of a slow start of that one, but hopefully it'll kick in some growth this year. So just a quick comparison. This is the Bootia odorata. I've got a Bootia aerospacer here, which was exactly the same size, and this is grown much quicker. So the aerospacer is definitely the faster growing out of the two for me. I wouldn't say it's quite double the size, but it's definitely a lot further ahead and more trunk on it. So let's carry on with the centre bed. We all know that Jubea chilensis is going to be a slow grower, so this was literally a 2 strap leaf seedling, very small, and I put it in 4-5 years ago, and we've only just started going pinnate, so that they are slow. That's probably pushing 1.5 feet in height. So that's the first part. of the bed. We've got the second part, which I redone last year, sort of connected the two separate islands. I've absolutely just left this, as I've uncovered it, that's what it's been left like. These cannas, I literally just cut them low enough to get the protection on and left them, so I will be cutting these back. But saying that, there does seem to be some green left in them, but I'll be cutting them back. We've got plenty of new growth down there. So this is the bird of paradise canna, Indica, I think it is. So yeah, I'm going to dig that out because that's just this got too big, and that just covered the palm at the back here, which we'll get to in a minute. And we've got some nice Cleopatra cannas. I don't know if you can see that with the classic stripy stem. The Cleopatra's coming out, so it's getting a bit late in the day. I've had a long day out here, so I will tidy this up maybe tomorrow evening, and we'll maybe have a look at doing a garden tour next weekend or something. But yeah, so that's going to be tidied up, and I'll be pulling some of these bigger cannas out. So again, everything's left as I've uncovered this, everything's left as it was. So we had some smaller cannas in here, some sort of dwarf cannas if you like. Left some elephant ears in here as well, which were, I think, the burgundy stem. They'll be fine, they'll come back again. Yeah, unfortunately these are all gone over now, but the leaves still look good. But yeah, so last but not least, the Parajabaya Turellii. Uncovered at last. So we already knew about the damage here. This was from not last winter, but the winter before, when I planted it out too early and it got frosted. But now any new foliage is pristine, so that's looking good. Pushing out 2 or 3 spears at once, so hopefully when we get some hot days or warmer days, that'll kick in and start looking good. I might be able to cut some of this older foliage off, but I'm in no rush to do that. So that is the centre bed uncovered, and I weren't going to mention it, but I will, as the camera's sort of pointing over that way. We've got a little pop-up greenhouse. I don't know if some of the keener eyed viewers may notice that there's some plants missing. I did mention in the last video I've moved. I had a big Yucca recurvifolia here, which was starting to take over the volcano, Camrops volcano. So we dug that out and plonked it in the front. Them things move easy, they don't even know they've been moved. They don't root too deep either. So we moved that. I did have 3 lots of 2 Washingtonia robusta, so I moved the 2 smaller ones, they weren't doing so well, and just potted them up. So we had one there, or one double there, and one double there, which in hindsight were far too close to the other plants. And now that this Bootia Airspather is starting to get a bit bigger, I wanted to give that room, and also you can enjoy the Yucca jewel there as well. Incidentally, the Nova, Trapicaps Nova, has just pushed out a new leaf, which did start looking quite yellow, but it's starting to green up now, so that's looking good. Some new leaves obviously on the T-Rex. But yeah, so anyway, we've dug out, you see I've got a couple of dodgy looking Phoenix canariensis in pots here, and you probably won't believe me, but this one here is the same age. This little stumpy thing here is the same age as the big one down the bottom of the garden. I don't know, approximately 8, 9, 10 years old. I'm not 100% sure. So I bought two at the same time. So the big one there, which is probably pushing 10 foot tall, is the same age as this one. And the reason for that is, well, you can see it's almost been, I think over the years, sort of got covered up. These two new fronds had was pretty much under soil level. So, and that was at the back of the border, and just shaded out, and it never really grew. So we dug that out, and I had another one which is in a pot there, which I've dug out, which were originally here. Along with, I had a big phormium, which sort of variegated yellow-green phormium, which I do like the phormiums, but that I didn't really love that one, and if I don't love it, it doesn't deserve a place when there's lots of other plants I do love, and I could put something better there. So why have I got a pop-up greenhouse there? Well, at the moment there's a big blank spot there, and I'm going to put my Colocasia Thai giant there. Well, a lot of people call them Colocasia, but the correct term is Lutecasia Thai giant. So what a big space for that, because they get quite big. So this is a gamble, because last year we had a rubbish summer, and the Thai giants didn't do well last year at all. They started off okay, and then slowly knocked out smaller and smaller leaves instead of bigger and bigger, which is what you want. So the gamble is, I've cleared a big space, got rid of some plants, some okay plants, which I weren't overly fussed about, for a big Thai giant. So let's see, watch this space, we'll see what happens. But the pop-up greenhouse is there, just do, so I had loads of cannas, potted cannas, so I thought, well, I've got a blank space, we'll whack them in there and get them started off a bit quicker, because these are obviously, with the last 2 weeks cold weather we've had, they've been slow. So I'm going to whack them in there and get them going, and then yeah, by the time they've got going properly, I can pull them out, get the Thai giant in there, get some nice compost. There's still a big hole there, nice compost, get the Thai giant in there, and I'll keep the little pop-up greenhouse on there, get it going. Once it's rooted nicely, grown nicely, we'll obviously remove the greenhouse, and hopefully we'll end up with a decent size Thai giant come midsummer. So yeah, it's been quite a lot going on in the garden, on top of everything else I've been doing. A lot of propagating. I've got a load of this Arandodanax. Obviously this foliage is looking a bit ropey. This is from last year, but these are ones I propagated a couple of years ago. I had them in big pots, and I've divided them off into smaller pots. So yeah, old foliage not looking good. But if we look down here, these are the new, this is Spanish reed, variegated Spanish reed, and we're getting a new growth coming. So once that kicks in, obviously we can cut the old ones off. But yeah, I've got several pots of that, so along with a lot of other stuff. So when you have so many plants, you divide them off and you need to get rid of them. So I will be selling a lot of plants in the next month or so, when things start growing properly. Obviously I only sell locally, I don't post, so I'll put them on Facebook Marketplace. And if you are local to me, I'm in Suffolk, you're welcome to come along, message me on here, or you'll see them on the Facebook when they go on there. But message me on here if you like, and you can come in, have a look round, and any plants I've got that you're interested in. I've got loads of potted plants, cannas and all sorts. Anyway, this is not a advertising channel. This is not trying to make money. This is just keeping my hobby going. This is literally just paying for the plants I buy. If I sell a few, I'll buy some nice ones. So just one more look at this finishing up. So these Phoenix canariensis, canary yellow and date palms, both, let's say 9 years old. I'm not quite sure. So we've got this one, 9 years old. It has been in the ground, but at the back the border in shade. So literally just one half leaf and a couple of dodgy looking growths on it, compared to this at the same age, where the trunk is twice the size of this pot at least, if not 3 times. Right, let's leave it there. It's been quite a long video as it is. Thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one.